Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moltrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft 2 commentary, and I am super excited to be casting this game right now because it is featuring none other than OGS NaDa. Awesome. Got a replay of NaDa. So this replay is the one that was in the Team Liquid interview. Team Liquid's doing a series of articles where they're called Letters from Korea, where they interview and talk about Koreans, some of them famous like NaDa and some of them not so famous, some of them soon to be famous. They actually interviewed Dong Regu before he kind of burst onto the scene. So anyway, but this is something from NaDa, and there's a really good article about NaDa, asked him a lot of stuff about StarCraft 1 and 2 and everything. It's really cool stuff, and this is supposed to be showing the standard Terran play. Hate to give away the first 6 minutes to you guys, but this is going to be showing standard Terran play by OGS NaDa, and he's actually playing against MVP Tails. I can't really point and keep it above the nexus to show the name at the same time, but the first character is pronounced M, the second character is pronounced V, and then well, the second two are pronounced V, roughly, and then the one in the middle is P, and then it's Tails. So that's a little Hangul for you. The Korean language is called Hangul, the written language. Anyway, MVP Tails, he's actually a very good Protoss versus Terran player. He's 5-2 in the televised games that he's played, including winning a game over Marine King. So he's going to be tough for NaDa to beat in this game, and should be interesting. Tails, of course, got into Code A this last season, but was eliminated in the round of 16. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have spoiled that since it just happened. Anyway, so yes, this should be an excellent match. They're doing a lot of talking down here. Unfortunately, I just know the rudiments of pronouncing the letters of Korean. I have not learned any Korean yet, so I have no idea what they're talking about in the game. I'm sorry. So anyway, so one of the things the article was talking about was this exactly. One racks expand, and this has become the complete and utter standard for Terran versus Protoss. Almost all Terrans are doing this every game, pretty much. I haven't been watching a ton of StarCraft lately, to be honest. Actually, I'm kind of behind on GSL. Just bought my season pass. I'm catching up a little bit right now. But the ones I have seen, it's been this build, yeah. So going into another barracks as well after that command center, it's pretty safe thing to do, and it's whoop, didn't mean to do that. Sorry. It's a very safe thing to do. It's a very safe build. You can protect against most everything, except for stuff like that. Now, it's interesting. NaDa actually said in that interview that he had a hard time defending against Void Ray all-ins. So if Tails decides to go for something like that, we might see a little bit of a difficult time for NaDa to defend against that. Anyway, does not look like he's going to do that, though. He's getting out a Sentry, and he would have received a Stargate already, probably, if he's going to go for some kind of a Void Ray build. Anyway, so Scout's going out, and it looks like Marines are at the front here. Going to deny that Scout completely. Is not going to get in there and see the 3 barracks going up. NaDa's just going to have a heavy Bioforce early on. We're going to see what he follows this up with, if he's going to go for Factory Tech or something different. I'm going to actually pause this for a moment and see if I can change the settings to clear up this FPS issues. Alright, hopefully that cleared something up there. Again, I'm not sure. Before I went to Korea, I could record fine on these settings. Now I came back from Korea, maybe my computer was like, you know, got lazy over the month and a half it wasn't being used. Anyway, so yes, Tails just going for a Sentry expand. This is also a pretty safe build. Where's the Robo? We don't see a Robo yet, actually. Usually you see a Robo involved with some kind of something like this. If it's going to be truly safe, you try and get an Observer out, but instead he's going for the 2 gateways and straight into expansion. He's just going for sentries here, and actually if we look at the unit station, he has 3 sentries and a Stalker. That's not a ton of units right now. He's got to feel a little lucky that NaDa didn't go for some kind of a crazy push, although at this point he could still cancel the Nexus and defend his ramp. That's why he has his sentries up here at the top of his ramp instead of down here to try and defend the expansion, the fledgling expansion. Anyway, Marauder is out, and the Stalker was trying to poke around, see what's going on, see what the army composition looked like, and see what was going on, trying to take a pot shot here. He can't really get too close, though, because he doesn't know if that Marauder has concussive shells. And if it does, this guy will get slowed down and just eaten alive by these Marines. it's a little known fact that, no, he's going and prodding again. Maybe he wants to see if there's concussive shells, actually. Sees that there are not concussive shells, so that's actually an interesting piece of information for him to know. He's got his expansion up as well. Now, did he see... He hasn't seen a single thing. I don't think he saw that command center. That may have been what he was checking for to see if there was an expansion up. But yes, it's a little known fact that Marines actually have guns that shoot little tiny mouths. That's how they eat stalkers alive. Although stalkers, aren't they... I guess they're not really alive, or are they? Dragoons are not alive, but I don't know if stalkers are, to be completely honest. I'm sorry. I don't know the complete lore. Anyway, so we got 2 tech labs and a reactor going on here. Lots of units being put out, and there are the ghosts. Again, pretty normal stuff to follow up with the ghosts, because then again, and this is something that actually I was watching Wolf commentating a TVP the other day with QXC in GSL, and QXC was saying that this very standard stuff because it's very safe against a lot of different things. And it really is. I mean, if they go for, you know, well, a number of different things. If they go for like just a mass gateway rush, then you've got EMPs. You can help with that. You can EMP sentries and that kind of thing. If it's a DT rush, you can EMP the DTs as well to uncloak them, to kill them off. And so it's a real safe thing to do. It looks like he's moving out with a couple ghosts here, and he's going to go for an attack. He does not know exactly what's in Tails' base, but he can pretty much assume there is an expansion right now. This is the timing where a Colossus would be about to come out. It's a good timing to go in. The Colossus is seconds from finishing. NaDa scans so he knows where to target the EMPs. 1, 2, and the last sentry is not EMP'd. A couple did go off, but he can still squeeze around the side. Stim goes off. The Colossus gets there just in time, though. NaDa able to target down. He scans. Does not get it. Oh, he just wanders back in range of the scan for a moment, and he's able to pick off the Colossus, but it looks like NaDa is going to get cleaned up just barely, and critically his ghosts are still alive. That is actually really good, because that means his very expensive units are going to stay alive, and they're going to be able to charge up their energy for more EMPs later. He does not have to build more ghosts to have EMPs in the next battle, although he's probably going to switch tech up, and yes, he is in fact, like I was thinking, going to switch up into Reactor Starport, because he saw that Colossus come out. He actually got really lucky that Colossus did not do more damage. It was microed pretty well at first, but then it dove back in a little bit too well. I guess he needed to get the shots off to survive that, so it was, you know, he kind of needed to use the Colossus. But if it had been earlier or positioned a little bit better, that would have spelled really badness. Spelled really badness for NaDa. I don't know what that means. That would have been really bad for NaDa. He would have taken more damage. He wouldn't have come out even in that fight, basically. So clever stuff there. Anyway, point being, why is he sending a probe over here? He has an observer in the base. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, he's just making a forward pylon just so he can spot stuff and warp stuff in later on if he needs to. Is he going to go for an attack? It looks like he is. There we go. There's the 6 warp gate follow-up. Again, pretty standard Protoss play also, actually. There's a lot of warp gates there. You know, kind of following up any kind of early rush. Well, obviously there wasn't an early rush, but oftentimes Protoss will follow up an early rush with just a 6 gate push if they've done enough damage. But in this case, he's just going to be building six warp gates regardless. That factory does not stand a chance, although he does see the positioning of the army. He knows exactly where Tails' army is right now. Those Colossus are just like hovering around underneath. They're kind of warming the tops of their skulls with the jets of the factory before it finally goes down. And is he going to be making a push, though? He does have a sizable army. Looks like, yeah, 3 Colossus, 6 sentries, only a handful of stalkers, 6 stalkers there. He's going to get another Colossus out as well. I believe he already researched thermal lance. I will double check that. Yes, he did. He's got 9 range on those Colossus. There are only 2 Vikings out. NaDa has had that reactor starport up for a while. He made 2 medevacs first, I believe, so he could have some healing power underneath it. That's usually a wise move, so they can build up energy, and then you only need a few. But it looks like he's going to go in before he has enough Vikings. NaDa is going to need to get some beautiful EMPs off. He does EMP everything. Goes in. He's just stimming everything in. It looks like all of his bio is very, very badly damaged. The Vikings not doing very much with only the 2 of them, but he just is able to stim through regardless. Another EMP goes off. Or maybe that was an explosion I didn't see, and he's going to polish everything off. Beautiful play by NaDa. And those last couple Vikings coming in at just the right moment. and I actually I didn't really catch what happened there with those Colossus, but I think he finished off enough of the Stalkers and Zealots that he was able to push a little bit forward and get some targeting on those Colossus with his Bio Army in order to finish those off as well. So beautiful play by NaDa, just barely holding that off. Well, I mean, he held it off pretty well, actually, but I mean, it was a very close engagement. It could have gone a lot differently. I think it was interesting that Tails decided to engage with not a large ground army. He had a lot of Colossi. He had 3 Colossi, but he didn't really have a ton of army underneath that. Now just going over here, and he's actually going to go a couple forges up. That is an interesting play. And Comscan goes down. NaDa looks like he's going to try and take some pot shots. There's only a few Stalkers there. So this Colossus is going to have to worry about these Vikings. Bringing in the Bio underneath. He's going for it. He's stimming, and he sees that there's no, the only one sentry, no Templar or anything. He stims it with a lot of stuff. He's able to kite backward away from the Colossus fire, but there's only 1 Colossus left. He has lost all of his Vikings but 2, which are hanging back at his home base here. He didn't lose them because they weren't involved in the fight. So nice prod by NaDa going in there and getting some free damage on the Colossus. When the Stalkers try to engage the Vikings, he went in with the Bio and just did a ton of damage. And again, very wisely, is going to fall back here. And NaDa with such a lead that he's going to take the gold base. Beautiful, beautiful play. And just look at the income tab for just a moment. NaDa only a little bit ahead at this moment, but in moments, about 10 seconds, maybe 15, 10, something like that, he is going to drop 1, 2, 3 mules on that gold probably, and that is going to be a ridiculous boost of income. The observer sees it. Tails knows that he is in trouble now. He knows that he has to do something. Pops that observer with a nice scan. Where's those mules? He's just transferring some SCVs over there. I suppose he wants to save up scans actually at this point, just in case of late game DTs. He also has been using he's using scans for positional play, and that's something that's really crucial. You always see top level Terrans do that. They always scan the opponent's army before they go in, and there's the Citadel I was thinking would go down with the forges. He's transitioning over into this other style play where you get a lot of upgrades. 1-1 is almost completed, although 2-2 is on the way for NaDa, so he's actually ahead in upgrades. If you get your E-base down earlier, you can actually do that. Tails decided to go for Colossus play instead of the upgrades. So now he's trying to transition back over into more, you know, armor upgraded charge lot play, and I don't know if he's going to be able to transition quick enough. He's got a ton of Zealots, but he's being forced to engage before charge is upgraded, and Zealots get stuck behind, and every single Zealot gets EMP'd. Zealots slowly running with concussive shells on them to the front lines. Only 4 or 5 of those Zealots actually did any damage. You probably should cancel that Nexus. No, he's going to let it finish, and actually he's just going to leave the game. GG, NaDa, with showing us how the standard play is done with Terran versus Protoss and showing how it can work. Very, very nice play. Beautiful play by NaDa, and excellent, excellent stuff there. Tails going for a sort of early Colossus push, and NaDa barely held it off. I know I say barely, even though he had a lot of stuff at the end. It was still, I feel, a tenuous position. If things had gone differently, it would have been bad. And of course, if he hadn't gotten those EMPs off up here, he wouldn't have been in enough of a lead to be in that solid position here as well. So gotta hand it to NaDa for some beautiful play there with going with the 2 early ghosts and a lot of stimmed bio and getting a really nice timing there. And the counter timing just didn't go very well for Tails. So he lost in the long game. And another beautiful timing too by NaDa going in, and it may not have been intentional. He just may have gone when he thought he should, but going in right before charge was finished. Well, a little bit before, about a minute before charge was finished. And that's part of what sealed the game. If charge had been finished in time for that battle, it would have been a different story. They would have charged out from behind those Stalkers and been able to get more than just a few hits off before dying there. In any case, and of course, NaDa with a bunch of Vikings able to take out the Colossus. All right, that's enough rambling for me. I hope you guys enjoy this game. Thanks very much for watching. And I'm going to probably not be doing any commentaries this weekend or this next few days since it is the 4th of July in the United States. Happy 4th of July if anyone lives in the United States, as I think a lot of my fans do, probably the majority. But if you're not, it's a Independence Day holiday in the United States where you light off fireworks and stuff like that. It's going to be fun stuff, and I'm going to be out of town a little bit visiting friends. So, I will return to doing more commentaries in a few days. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks very much for watching. GG.